Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the weekly Levinson and Associates training webinar series. This is obviously the second one of the week. We thank everyone for taking the time, and most important, we are trying to bring lots and lots of value that will help you in your everyday practice. And, I just want everyone to explain, we have over 70 direct contracts, okay, IMO contracts. And obviously, all of these carriers are reaching out to us and they say, hey, we want to schedule a webinar for your agents. And, we won't just schedule a webinar and have someone speak for an hour unless we know there's tons of value add where our agents can walk away with these nuggets to change their practice. Okay, if it's just, hey, we're rated A plus and we have $30 billion of surplus and we're the best company around. No, that's a waste of everyone's time. But if it's a sales idea, sales strategy, a sales platform, maybe some new niche products that you've never seen before, then yes, we are going to have a webinar for you all. So this is one of those webinars that proves my point. So I think everyone is going to walk away with some great nuggets of information. Make sure you take out a pen and paper, jot down notes. We also have a question box on the right-hand side. So if you type in any questions or comments, we will do our best to answer those in real time as soon as they come in. Worst case, we will reply to every single one by the time we are done. That's my promise to you. Plus, everyone will get a thank you email before we leave today. So by tonight, you'll have a thank you email that has a recording of the training. Also has sign up buttons and forms where you can, let's say you love the software we're about to go over and you say, Bill, this looks great, I want to get started. We'll have those forms. We'll have brochures where we have a evaluation kit that Joe's going to touch on in a little bit. All of that, all the links, the forms will be in that thank you email. So if you don't receive it, that means either A, it's in your spam folder, or B, we have your incorrect email address. So please reach out and let us know what the correct email is. It's very, very important, especially if you're writing business. You want to make sure you're getting your statuses right and they're going to the right email inbox. Okay, so we have Joseph Loughran joining us. We have our special guest speaker, Mark, is joining us. And I'm going to tell you this. You are going to love this strategy. Okay, this is a part 3 of a training series that was hosted by Mark and Levinson. This is my favorite part of the 3-part series. And the reason why is because we're going to touch on software that allows you to reach out to business owners in your area and find out all of the details based on that certain business. And the best part, it's free. So if you're a Levinson agent and you're appointed with us, okay, through Lafayette, it's free. If you are not appointed with Lafayette, or maybe you're not even with us yet, maybe you're brand new, you're just kind of kicking the tires, no problem. We're going to include the link for contracting and onboarding. So by the time we're done, you fill that out and we will get you up and running as soon as you are active, okay? Which takes about a week to 10 days as long as there's no issues, okay? So that's my favorite part. We're not trying to sell you anything. This isn't a membership package. We're not asking for credit cards or PayPal accounts. This is as simple as it comes. And what I love most is if you're a 3rd bedroom term agent, if you're a mortgage protection agent, a final expense senior market agent, okay? If you're in the estate planning side or advanced case design side, you like to work on monster cases, this is something for everyone, and the average size cases are very large. So I love this concept because we're not only talking to the MDRT type producers, and we're not only talking to our final expense agents, we're talking to everyone, and where everyone can walk away with a new sales idea, right? To tap into this business owner case market, right? So this is great, great stuff. We're going to have our question of the day at the end. So you really got to make sure you're paying attention because my question has to do with one of our slides that we're about to go over. So whoever answers the question first wins. We have the Mary Reed distribution solution sales book. And then we have our IUL prospecting book that we are going to give away at the end. Okay, free of charge. Whoever answers first wins it. Okay, let's jump right in here. So a couple other things that are hot right now here at Levinson. You're going to see our final expense experience campaigns all over the place, all over the country, through Insurance Newsnet magazine, through our national e-blast list. And the reason why we are heavily marketing this year end and going into the new year is because we added a few things to this platform that are going to knock your socks off, okay? And I'm going to tell you what some of the bullets are real quick. So first of all, everything is turnkey. It's free. Once again, if you're active with us, no charge on this entire platform that you're looking at on the right-hand side. Now, a couple of things I want to point out real quick. The $8 double verified leads, that has a 20% guarantee, okay? They're final expense leads with a 20% guarantee. If you don't sell the leads, we'll get you free leads to make sure that you hit those numbers as long as you sit through our 45-minute training. That's the caveat, okay? Okay, moving down here, another great piece of technology, a great tool, software, if you will, that is going to change your business. If you're in the senior market, we have the latest and greatest, okay, think of a final expense quoting engine, right? Nothing new, it's been around for years, but we now have real-time underwriting built in. So basically what this allows you to do while you're on the phone working your leads, you have a 72-year-old that's on blood pressure meds, cholesterol meds, maybe adult onset diabetes. Whatever the case is, the system will tell you the best carrier, product, health class, premium, hit the go button, you are done. There is nothing else like this. We're another first to market with a product like this. So again, that's on top of everything else that you're looking at in that list of bullets on the right side. So, and I'm going to tell you this too, icing on the cake, if you transfer your contract to us, okay, we match or beat, most of the time we beat your commissions, plus you get free leads or cash with your first step. It doesn't get any easier. Then, by the way, when you write at least 10 grand of premium in one calendar year, we give you free orphan leads. We're going to share that in a little bit too. I'll show you how that program works. But, you know, again, it's our job to bring tons of value to the market that no one else has. Ultimately, that will change your practice, okay? That's our motto. That's what we've done since 1972 now, okay? So anyway, we stand behind that, and the proof is in the pudding, as they say, and we've done exactly that. Okay, let's move forward. Joe, by the way, let's include that final expense campaign in today's thank you email. All right, I'm real excited about this. I recorded this podcast yesterday on the Bill Levinson Experience. What's really neat about this specific episode was our featured guest speaker was actually a TED Talks featured speaker twice, and wrote his own book. It's on Amazon now. It's called What's Your Wobby? It talks all about positive change and how to operate through a pandemic, right? And how to reach out and ask for referrals and new business. This is a 1-hour episode. I promise you will love it. And guess what? Remember that distribution solution book that I spoke about a minute ago, and I said, hey, you got to answer the question right at the end? Well, if you leave a comment on our Facebook page or on any of our podcast channels, right, for our Bill Levinson Experience podcast, I'll also send you a copy of that book on me, okay? Even if it doesn't matter if you're appointed active, if you haven't written one piece of business yet, doesn't make a difference. That's just my gift to you and my way of saying thank you for checking out the Bill Levinson Experience podcast. So check out that episode. We are launching it, I believe, this afternoon. Yes, you'll have it in your inbox tonight, okay? And you'll see Don Wilson, author of the book, What's Your Wobby? Great, great episode. Okay, moving right along, another great podcast that you all will walk away with a ton of value add with is the Mary Reed podcast. So I sat down with Mary for 1 hour and we spoke all about her tax saving strategies, distribution solutions, retirement planning. And guess what one of the two carriers are that she insists that you use? Lafayette Life, okay? So this is a 1-2 punch. Those are her 3 books she authored below. Joe, let's include this podcast as well in the thank you email so everyone can check it out. But I promise you'll love it. We've already seen, let's see, 1, 2, we got 4 cases in since this podcast, and they're all over 100,000 a target premium. So I know this works. By the way, one of the agents is on the call right now, and he's more or less a senior market agent that focuses on MedSup and health, and he landed one of these. Okay, his first case with them. I think that was a smaller case. It's a large case, but a smaller case. It was just over 35,000 a target premium. So anyway, you must check that out. You do not have to be an estate planning attorney to figure this out. She makes it very simple, and she'll jump on the phone with you and your client and literally make the sale for you. Okay, so lots and lots of value add. Okay, Joe's going to jump into the Lafayette Life product overview, and he's going to talk about where they shine, and then we're going to introduce our feature guest speaker of the day. Joe, you there?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So real important here, I want to just introduce everyone to a couple neat products with Lafayette. Of course, they've got a lot of different options to choose from, but when it comes to whole life insurance, in my opinion, some of the best products in the industry, whether you're looking at the Heritage 15 or the Patriot 15, if you're looking for early cash value or long-term performance, they've got something for everybody. We even have a 10-pay scenario, which is a limited premium payment product, which is a 10-year paid-up policy, and then that client can start to accumulate additional cash value. One thing I want to note, issue ages 0 to 85, and minimum death benefit starts at just $5,000. We've had a lot of whole life carriers in the past that people want to kind of build some cash accumulation and some guarantees down the road, but they've got to start with maybe $50, $75, $100,000 of death benefit. For all ages, you can start at just $5,000, which is pretty neat to be able to accumulate some cash value, even if that's some sort of scenario where someone just wants to pay a very small monthly premium. So really great products. We've got awesome underwriting. We've got some streamlined underwriting scenarios as well. One thing I think is really important that stands out with Lafayette are the riders. So you can see on the screen here, we've got a ton of riders almost available on every product, whether it's a spouse term rider, that waiver premium, children's insurance rider, even some options to add a term life rider on the insured themselves. So if you're looking at maybe buying a separate term policy, you can do it all inside of one product, whole life blended with term. You can even add a guaranteed purchase option, which allows that client to get additional amounts of coverage down the road without having to go through additional underwriting, which is especially great for someone who's in their income building years that maybe has a greater need for insurance down the road, or as they get older or as they have children, they can accumulate more death benefit down the road with that guaranteed purchase option to be able to kind of expand that death benefit as they move along. Also, I'll send out all these details this afternoon, but you do have access to the iGo e-application system for e-applications. You also have access to the illustration system, accelerated underwriting, and even something called DocFast for e-policy delivery. Of course, with most clients working virtually and agents selling virtually, being able to have an e-application you can do over the phone and electronic delivery policy, I think, is especially important. So if you kind of pair all those together with that streamlined underwriting, it really gives you an awesome scenario where you're going to be able to give that client a great product with a very, very easy application and delivery process to make it very streamlined from start to finish. Also, one thing I do want to point out, of course, we're kind of talking a lot about business owners and whether it's small or medium or large business owners. One thing we'll be sending out is the business owner valuation kit. I think this is a huge tool to help uncover new prospects, and actually once you start that conversation, to be able to have something to talk about that really sets you apart from the competition. So real quickly here, this business owner valuation kit is completely complimentary to that client. You can actually fill out a fact finder with that client about their business and learn a little bit about who they are and what they do. And then we take that report, it gets analyzed by various CPAs and business attorneys at the insurance carrier, and they put together a complete report that actually identifies to that client kind of a statement summary of their financials, their income. It also identifies the different risks they might be faced with, whether it's a key man policy that they need and they need a buy-sell agreement. It'll even point out maybe some scenarios where maybe they need a business owner DI policy. So it really helps you kind of set the stage, set yourself apart from the competition, and really kind of get down to the specific details of their individual business to be able to put together a customized plan that's really fine-tuned for what they're looking for. And a lot of times, if you were to ask the client to go ahead and see if they could do a business owner valuation and have some attorneys and CPAs look at all the numbers, it's usually going to cost them at least $2,500, maybe more than that, sometimes double. So being able to offer that benefit at no cost to your client is, I think, a huge added value, which again sets you apart from the competition and kind of puts you in a separate league when it comes to making sure that you're understanding their individual needs and then providing that solution for them that's really going to be second to none.
Okay, good stuff, Joe. So like I said earlier, this is the third part of a three-part training series hosted by Mark Detondo. So real quick, look at the left side. The first one, we dissected the competitive products with Lafayette. The second part of the series was prospecting for clients, and today is number 3. It's tools for making the sale. So just remember, okay, we all know this. You can have the best products in the world with 382% commission, but if you don't have the tools or the strategies to sell them, right, they're going to do you no good. So that's exactly what Mark is going to talk about today. Without further ado, Mark Detondo from Lafayette. Mark?
Bill, thank you very much. I appreciate your time and allow me to present today. I am going to talk to you today about a software system called Arisopedia, and I have already loaded this to Joe, and anybody can get access to this for free once you are signed up with Lafayette Life. This software, like other softwares on the industry, allows you to look at every 5,500 in the industry. And so why is that important? Well, most cash balance plans, and we talked about that in our first meeting. First, we talked about Introduction to Pension 101. Then we talked about prospecting, and today we're talking about how to find the prospects. This will allow you to find every 401k profit sharing plan in the industry. So what we're going to look for today is for small to medium sized companies, and I'm going to use the parameters 1 to 5, even 1 to 10, looking for 401ks that have employer contributions, so that we can dissect these plans to figure out if the employer or the business owner is maximizing their personal contributions, and if they are, do they want to put in a larger deduction? So if you were involved with our second presentation, which was prospecting, you may recall that I provided to you a letter and multiple brochures that you can either PDF to these people or mail to these people, and then follow up with a phone call to talk about their existing 401k business. This also is very helpful for those who are working in the group benefit business, so that you can go in there and be better educated of what exactly they have and how they treat their employees, because you'll see that some employers make a large employer contribution, some make none. So it's also helpful in that market. But before I get involved with this, let me just take a major step backwards and just give you a couple updates from Lafayette Life. Joe alluded to some of our riders in our whole life plans. One of the major features that we use in our whole life plans is our term riders. So we have a 7-year term, a 10-year term, a 15-year term, a 20-year term, and a 30-year term. And what I want to point out to in all of our term riders is we have a 1 to 12 ratio, which means that you can do a $100,000 base whole life policy and a $1.2 million term rider. The reason why I'm pointing that out is that term rider is fully convertible for up to the period of time or age 65 and fully commissionable. So you can convert some of that term to whole life and then put term back in it, and you're going to get another commission on the term and the base whole life policy. So just an FYI that differentiates Lafayette Life's whole life and term in one policy versus saving a policy fee and getting level term insurance at a fair price. Second, announced yesterday, Lafayette Life stayed and maintained its dividend. In a pandemic, we were able to keep our dividend level. Mass Mutual dropped their dividend 20 basis points. We're waiting to see Penn Mutual. Ohio National dropped their dividend significantly. We were one of the few carriers to date that is able to maintain their dividend. just shows you guys our financial strength and our cash balance sheet. So just an FYI, just a little update on Lafayette Life that Bill nor Joe had privy to or access to. So Joe, can everybody see this my screen? Can you see my okay. So let's look at Arisopedia.com. Arisopedia.com is a search engine that will allow you to find 5500s all over the country. So we can go national, state, county, zip. So I'm going to go zip code. I happen to live in a small little town called Bristol, Rhode Island. My zip code is 02809. So those who want to stalk me, you know where I live now. So now we're going to go into a single employer plan. Okay. We're going to check defined contribution, but you can also do 403B if you're in the teacher market or the municipality market. You can do money purchase. You can also look at defined benefit plans, okay, or welfare plans, okay? So you can search all these plans, but for today's education, we're just going to do defined contribution plans. And oh, by the way, if you are licensed with Levinson and you want to have a private session with me, send an email to Joe and he'll set you up with me, and I'm more than happy to do this one-on-one so that you have a better understanding and you can do it based on your geographical area. So then I go down to the filters and I'm going to look at the financials. So here we can look at total assets. So the last person that was in there was looking at big plans. That's not me. I like small plans. But you have to make it worthwhile. So I'm going to get 250,000, and I'm going to take a few zeros off of this to 3 million. Okay, and participants, I like it very small. I'm going to go 1 to 10, and we can even go smaller. You can go 1 to 2. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you'd like to do. Okay. And then you can do all this other stuff, but it's not as important as those two things. And then what's crucial is you have to hit update and close, okay? The next thing that I like to go is under the features, which is very important. So we can look at all business categories. So if we go to this drop down, look at all the things that we can look at. Tons and tons and tons of features. So I want to include offices of physicians, okay? And we can do 401k, you can do participant self-directed plans, 404C, whatever you want to do, you can check on this, okay? So I'm happy with that, just office of physicians, update and close. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit submit and refresh. And that's going to pull up all the plans in my little town that fit that category. Okay, so you see the person's name, you see where they are, you see how many participants they have, you see their assets. So what I like to do is I like to do this by size. So now I'm down from small to large, okay? So we can look at all these, and if you go to the right-hand side, Joe, tell me if you can still see the screen once I do this. We'll go to View, and then I look at their Form 5500, okay, now I have all their information. Okay, so I know this is a plan for 2019. This is Southeastern New England Diagnostic 401k plan. I see where they're located. They're in Warwick, Rhode Island. There's their EIN number. Here's their phone number on line 2C. This company started off with 3 employees at the beginning of the year, and they ended it with 3 employees at the end of the year. Now what I look for is I look for how much money is going into the plan. Okay, this is not a good example. Okay, so this is a lot of kissing a lot of frogs to get a prince. They're not contributing. Okay, they're not contributing. But what did happen is $71,000 came into the plan. So that means that someone transferred money into the plan, so they have a new doctor or a new associate. Okay, so let's look at another one. So like I said, this is a lot of trial and error. Let's look at John Pella. Again, same information. This is 2019. So this is brand new information, guys. This is up to date. This is a profit sharing plan. So the last one was a 401k. This is a profit sharing plan. In a profit sharing plan, there is no employee contributions. It's all employer contributions. So this person who has 3 employees is putting in, again, no money. Okay, no money again. So I'm not helping you right now. So, but it grew by 230,000. Okay, let's find one that has some actual assets going in. You can probably say that I live in a bad town. Nobody has any money to put any money away. So let's look at Mary Smith. This is another profit sharing plan. Okay, so she's putting away $63,661. Okay, she has 5 employees. So what you try to find out with this particular plan is how much is she putting in for herself and how much is she putting in for other 4 employees, okay? Because depending on the type of plan, she could have a cross-tested profit sharing plan where it's by job classification, age, and income, where the most of the money is going to her. So if she's putting in $63,000, that's the maximum amount that she's putting away. But if we layered a cash balance plan on top of that, and depending on her age, she could put away another potentially $265,000 to $300,000 a year for the next 5 years or age 62. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for in these plans is large contributions. So the next step that I would do with this, okay, so let's look at Mary Smith, and we all determined that she was a good candidate. One, from our prospecting lecture or presentation, I would get the letter to the end user and send her a letter on why she could save more money. Take one or 2 or 3 of the brochures on cash balance and contribution maximization for 2020 and mail it out to her or email it to her. Okay, because you can get her email probably off her website and send it off, or call her and ask for her email address. Okay, and then follow up with a phone call because the phone number is right there. Her phone number is right here. Right there, 617-628-9700. Okay, and find out what she's all about. Okay, so that's one example. Let's see if we can find a better example with more money going in. Again, in 2019, here's their phone number, 401-438-3300. This is another profit sharing plan. 5 employees at the beginning of the year, but number of active employees at the end of the year is just 3. So I'm looking at really, really small companies, guys. I can expand that, okay? Not making any contribution last year, okay? That's fine. That's fine. But there's $2 million in there. So maybe you call this person up and ask them if they're happy with their provider. And maybe you find out why they're not making contributions, okay? So you just have to look at that. Let me expand this out to a little bit larger so that I can get some people putting money in. Since it is Rhode Island, it's not a very big state. 1 to 25. Okay, as you can see that even we're going up to 25, it's not a lot of doctors participating. So let's see. Let's look at this one. They had 12 people, they're down to 5. So a lot of people either left, retired. Okay, so look at this. We have $19,650 going in, okay, with 3 participants. Chances are, because it's $19,600, that the majority of this is going in for the doctor. But look at the employer contribution, $72,067. I can tell you right now from experience that this doctor is putting the maximum contribution in for himself and putting in a little bit for his employees so that he passed the testing. I can almost guarantee you, because that's a disproportionate large number of profit sharing money going in on the employer side, line 8A1. That means that he's maximum funding his plan and putting as much as he has to for his employees. So this person, even though it says it's got 12 employees, only has 3, is a perfect candidate to put the second layer on, which would be a cash balance plan. Okay? So the cash balance plan goes on top of the 401k, okay, without making any changes. We're not asking them to change who they have as a carrier. We're not even asking them to change who they have as a TPA if they don't want to. All we're asking them is, do they want to save more money? So unlike trying to sell a life insurance policy, okay, outside of a qualified plan, this is an easy conversation. Dr. Jaffe, do you want to save more money? It looks like you're maxing out your existing plan. If I could show you a way where you could put away as much as another $200,000 or $300,000 a year, would you like to see that plan? No obligation, no expense. And that's the conversation you have. Okay, very easy conversation. You can do this all over the country. This is available for any zip code. Even so, for example, if you have a call with a business owner this week, you can go in there, type in their name, and see if they have a qualified plan. You can print out a report from this and to show you that it'll show you what they have for assets. So all this stuff is, the capabilities of this software is tremendous. I'm just showing you like the surface. I'm not scratching the surface with this software so that you have some ammunition to, 1, get into the business, 2, give you ammunition to go and talk to business owners, and 3, allow you to prospect because we have the name, the address, their phone number, so that you can send emails or mailings out to existing clients or potential clients if you want to get into the qualified plan arena. I promised that I would keep this presentation short and ask and open up for any questions that you may have. Those are on the line. So if that's possible, Joe, I'd like to do that.
Mark, we have a closed line, but what we can do, Joe has the question box controls. So if you want to type in a question right now, and we can ask Mark while we have him on. Joe, do you see anything coming in? And by the way, like Mark said, once you're appointed and active, we can set up that call with a one-on-one with Mark as well. So we have no problem doing that too. But if anyone has a question, use that question box right now, and Joe will ask Mark any questions that come in. Let's give this another minute.
Sure. Yep. So one question did come in regarding if there's any way to export any of the data to Excel.
Yes.
So I
can show you that right now. That's pretty simple to do. See where it says download current view? So I can do that. Yes, you can do that. So you can do that right there.
Great question, by the way. That will simplify your life. Okay. Any others? Like. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Done.
So yes, very simple. If I can do it, it's simple to do. You also, I mean,
Marquis.
like I said, also there's so many other things. Like, see this columns thing? This is all the stuff that you can customize your own Excel spreadsheet. I've done my own because I like it simple. But if you want, if you want to get really into the weeds, you can get really into the weeds. And I'm more than happy to help you with this, guys. So this software is unbelievable.
All right. Anyone else? Questions, Joe? Anything else coming in?
If this is available in every state.
Every state. Look at here's national.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to open this because this list will be 50,000 because it'll be every doctor in America that has that size.
Awesome. This is a game changer, folks. I was telling everyone in the marketing pieces, but this is a big deal. Okay, any others, Joe? We'll give this another minute.
Last question that just popped in. Someone had asked, are there prospecting and marketing materials for pre-approach? And of course, the other webinar we had done just before this, the part 2, we cover all of that. So I will include that in today's thank you email as well.
Yeah, so let me just piggyback off that. Good answer, Joe. Once you get licensed with Lafayette, you'll get access to our website. All the brochures that we have and that Joe will send you are free, and some of them can be customized.
Okay, perfect. Okay, all right. So yes, keep in mind we'll get everyone's questions answered, but just in the sake of time, we're going to move on to the next part here, and then we'll, of course, do our giveaway. So, Mark, thank you so much, as always. Now we just have to get creative and come up with a part 4, but this was great. And like I said, we're going to send out all 3 webinar links in today's thank you email. So spend a little time. I know most of you are working from home now anyway, so definitely worth your time. I mean, you can do the whole 3-part series in less than an hour and a half. Okay, so
right.
but it's worth it. You get one nice case out of this or one nice business, you're off to the races. And
like I said in the first presentation, and I'll sign off. The average commission on this is $50,000. That's what I average for the last 7 years. And the biggest case that I've written year to date, or not year to date, but from the time I've been doing this, is $363,000, and that's just first year.
That's enough to put food on the table, Mark.
Exactly.
So I love it.
Bill, Joe, thank you very much for your time. Everyone have a nice, safe holiday, and look forward to the next one. Take care, everybody.
You too, Mark. Thank you. So, all right, we have a few more slides here, and then we're going to wrap this up. So get access now. Obviously, you do have to be active with us. There's no fee or anything. And then the Lafayette link is on our site. If you just hover over the highlighted marketing tab that you're seeing in front of you, it'll say product info brochures, and then on the right side, all of Lafayette's info, and we'll send out the contracting link again in the thank you email. All right, let's move forward. So if you're with another IMO with Lafayette, but you still want, obviously, all the access, scholarship program, everything else we offer, we will match or beat your current grid, commission grid. 99% of the time we'll beat it. Plus, you get free leads or cash for contracting with your first application, and obviously the software and the free scholarship with every policy sold. So all of the other bells and whistles come with that. And again, no charge for any of this. Okay, let's move forward here real quick. I think this is a big one, especially when we're talking about nice cases, right? Where these typically are larger cases, at least 30,000 all the way up to 400,000, as Mark just spoke about. So we have this free orphan lead program. And the reason why I wanted Joe to touch on this, okay, if you write a minimum of 10,000 a premium in one calendar year, I don't care if it's 2 apps or 32 apps, it doesn't matter. You hit 10,000, we give you free orphans, 100% on us. And what I wanted to share, Steve, who's also on our call right now, just received our free orphans, and this was his reply to us. What was this? Last week now, okay? It says, "Hello, Bill. It's been a while. I wanted to let you know how the orphans turned out. After completing a needs analysis for them, we wrote an application for an IUL with Emeritus. Annual target premium of $6,000. Plus, I'm working on getting 2 IRAs from them, and I'm working on another contact of mine that's handling a refi for their mortgage." Okay? Now, what I love about this, look at the bottom line there. Actually, it's three rows up. All of our meetings were held virtually. Okay, this was just a couple of weeks ago. He did this completely online by calling one of our orphan leads, and he made over $6,000 from one. Okay, we're not talking about the rest of them and what else will come out of this, right? He also said they agreed to write a testimonial. You know, I'm big on sharing. Remember the 4-prong approach, right? you always want to ask for that testimonial, just like a referral. And then you take that testimonial and you put it out on your website, you e-blast it out, you get it on all of your social media pages. And again, it just drives, right, client awareness. People want to ask questions and they say, hey, what helped Shirley? I want to know more, right? That's how it all starts. And then, of course, he ends with thanks again for your willingness to send these orphans our way. Okay, so obviously you could do the same thing, but you got to get to that minimum of 10,000 a premium, and then we'll send out these leads 100% complimentary. Okay, moving forward here, what I want to do is shift gears for a second. I'm going to have Joe talk about this ongoing incentive right now. Okay, and then we're going to share. We have one other slide, and then we're going to wrap this up. Joe.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So really exciting. We launched the Levinson Stimulus Program earlier in the month here, but what's awesome about this is you can earn $100 when you contract and write your first application with at least one of these 10 participating carriers you see on the screen. So this is essentially a stimulus program. If you're not currently active or writing with any one of these 10 carriers, write your first application. You have until January 15th to actually place the case, and then you earn a $100 bonus from Levinson. There's no limit, so you could do this with every single carrier and earn up to $1,000. But a really, really neat program. We also launched this with a webinar on October 27th at 2 p.m., which I will include in today's thank you email, where we actually had, we called it like the speed dating webinar with each of these insurance carriers, where we learned all their hotspot sales techniques and portfolio niches, where you could really fine tune which carrier to go to for each different scenario that you might be working with a client on. So anything from hybrid life annuity products to simplified issue underwriting, critical illness, disability income, even IUL, GUL, whole life products, all included in those 10 carriers. So something we're really excited about. We will send this out this afternoon. And to get started, basically write your first application with any one of these 10 carriers, and you can participate in that stimulus program. So really, really neat system that we set up for the end of the year here. And I do want to touch on some upcoming training events. Of course, the Agency Automator CRM system, which is a all-in-one CRM platform that has prospecting, email marketing, and a free agent website built in, now includes the annuity sales website. For those agents marketing annuities, you can plug right into the system and start marketing for annuity products as well, and actually have a website that has some client-approved videos and marketing materials that specifically focus on the annuity products. You'll see the training schedule every day at 2 p.m. Eastern for Agency Automator. Of course, the Legacy Armor training platform every Wednesday at 2 p.m. We're really excited, of course, about the final expense lead program Bill mentioned earlier in the webinar. We also have a brand new final expense quote engine that lets you actually compare every final expense carrier we have, and you can actually do underwriting on the fly. You can check off a specific underwriting condition. That quote system will adjust and tell you exactly which carrier to actually apply with. We're doing a complete overview of that final expense platform, including the final expense experience, which is your one-stop shop for everything final expense: sales scripts, lead programs, product information, underwriting support, e-applications, everything having to do with final expense. That is December 3rd at 3 p.m. Eastern. And then we're also doing, I know Bill mentioned Mary Reed earlier in the webinar, a co-op webinar with her on December 10th at 2 p.m. We're going to be talking about changes in legislation that have opened up opportunities for business owners. So she is always amazing when it comes to developing new sales ideas. Really call her the distribution specialist or guru when it comes to whole life and index universal life products. So be on the lookout for those webinar invitations. You can join just like you are today. And if you actually miss any webinar, you're watching this after the fact, we put everything on YouTube. So you can go right to YouTube and look at hundreds of different videos that we've posted throughout the year. So you can actually watch any of those on demand if you miss anything.
Okay, good stuff, Joe. Our last slide here. So real quick, this was our Positive Tuesday quote of the week. Don't ever forget that you are the author of your own book. And sometimes you have to start a new chapter, okay? That could be business, personal, whatever it takes. You are in full control of your life, as we all know. But sometimes we have to bring it back to the surface. Okay, our giveaway, and I hope you were paying attention. Oh, by the way, before I ask my question, I'm just going to say one thing. You know, we have a ton of agents on here today and from all different parts of the industry. but all you have to do is know enough to be dangerous, right? Like, I'm going to give you an example. When it comes to premium finance, right? We have our premium finance guru who will literally get on the phone with you and your client and make the sale for you. When it comes to, let's say, retirement planning or tax saving strategies, right? Mary Reed will jump on the phone with you and your client and do all of the selling for you, okay? So now you have two different options that, and by the way, typically those are larger cases, 100, 200,000 of premium or commissions, okay? Number three, life settlements. You have a client that you come across that maybe has a whole life, maybe a permanent policy, even a term product that is at least 65 years old. They're not doing great. They're not healthy. They don't want the policy anymore. We have our life settlement direct broker that will get on the phone with you and your client and literally make that sale or life settlement for you. So all you have to do is know enough to be dangerous, right? Come up with the right prospect. You tee up the phone call. We'll take it from there. And that's it. You're done. You can literally sit on the phone and not say a word for an hour, and they'll do all the selling for you. So anyway, keep that in the back of your mind. Let's end with our question of the day. So Joe spoke about our Levinson stimulus program. You tell me how many carriers are on that program. Okay, Levinson stimulus program. How many carriers are participating in the Levinson stimulus program we just rolled out and Joe just spoke about 5 minutes ago? Tell me how many carriers you win. Joe, do we have a winner?
We do. Michael M. from Nevada.
Michael M. from Nevada. The answer is 10. 10 carriers. That's literally, it's $100 cash or $1,000 cash if you write 10 apps. Okay, but sign up with a new carrier, write the app, you get the cash. With that said, have a wonderful rest of the day, a great week. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving next week, great holiday season. Thank you for everything. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Next week, I'm going to share a great personal success story that you all will love. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you again.